Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you my current foundation routine. I've made a lot of foundation routine videos in the past, but to be honest, I just change it a lot. It's very dependent on how my skin is. I have very difficult skin. Sometimes it's very oily, sometimes it's very dry. So it really just depends on the season and then also what I'm going through. Like if I'm really stressed out, my skin is even more difficult. Right now, since it's midwinter in Chicago, my skin has been very dry, and so any sort of foundation has been difficult to apply. I have found that using just a concealer is better than using a full face foundation. However, there are some times when I want to do the full face foundation. So I feel like I finally kind of found a way to do that. So if you have very dry skin, this might be helpful for you. So let's get into the video. So the very first thing that I do is use a moisturizer. Right now I'm using the Neutrogena oil-free moisturizer. I'm just gonna take a good amount of this because, as I mentioned, my skin is very dry. I'm gonna put it all over my face. The next thing that I do is prime my face. Right now I'm using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. And I just take one pump of this and usually start around my nose and then bring it out onto my cheeks, up my forehead, and then down to my chin as well. I also put this on my eyelids because I just use this as a primer for eyeshadow as well. Also with this primer, you're supposed to wait about 30 seconds before putting any other makeup on, so I just kind of wait a while to let it dry. Next, I'm gonna go in with a foundation, and right now I'm using the Milani Conceal and Perfect. It's a foundation and a concealer. This is in the shade 00 Light Natural. The applicator on this is a little weird because it's just kind of like a stick. So what I do is I take the SL Miss Glam B12 foundation brush. I use the applicator to put a little bit on the brush, about that much. And then I just kind of dot it all over my face. And then I just use the brush to start slowly blending it out. So because my skin is so dry, I've found that using less foundation is actually been better. So some days I don't even use a full face foundation, depends on what I'm doing. But when I do, for whatever reason, applying it with a brush has been a lot better than using my beauty blender. When I use the beauty blender, it's been kind of just like caking on, which I don't really like. So once I've kind of spread all the foundation over my face, I'm gonna go back with the same brush and just really blend it out, because if you can see, there's still like harsh lines. And then you always want to blend it down your neck, and what I do is I never put foundation specifically on my neck, but I rather just use the excess that's on the brush or the beauty blender or whatever you're using, and I use that to kind of pull the foundation down. Next, I'm gonna go in with concealer, and I use the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. This has been really good too if I don't do full foundation because it blends really well. It doesn't look like there's just a spot that has foundation and then the rest of your face is like a completely different color. It really blends in and like melts into the skin well. You also need such a small amount of this. I'm gonna go in with my Be a Small concealer brush, and I just put the smallest little bit, that's probably too much. And I'm going to put a little bit under my eyes. And I just put a little bit under my nose here on my Cupid's bow, on the sides of my nose. And then I'm also gonna put it on any acne spots that still show up. And then because my skin has been so dry, it hasn't been blending well with a brush or the beauty blender, so instead I'm just going to use my finger. I've heard that the warmth of your finger actually kind of melts it into your skin, and I tried it and it really works, especially for making that area not as dry. Next, I'm gonna go in with a powder, and a lot of people with dry skin don't set with powder. I think my face always looks better and more blended and put together if I set with a powder. And I use the Airspun Loose Face Powder, and I tap it into the lid here, and then swirl the brush around, tap off the excess, and then just go all over my face. And then again, I'm just gonna kind of just use the excess to blend it down my neck. Next, I'm gonna take the Bare Minimals Faux Tan Bronzer. And again, I just kind of tap a little bit out into the lid. Sometimes I just use bronzer to contour my face, but because it's winter and my skin is a lot paler, I just use it all over my face. And then of course you always want to blend the bronzer onto the neck too. Then I'm going to go into using a highlighter. So I use two different highlighters. The first one is the Lovecraft Beauty highlighter, and this is kind of a lighter shade, but I'm going to take this and just put this on my cheekbones. Then I'm going to take the OFRA highlighter in Sea Shimmer. This is a little bit more of a pink color, and I put this on the apples of my cheeks. The last thing I do is I take the Lovecraft Beauty blush and just put a little bit of that on the apples of my cheeks as well. And that is it for the foundation part of my makeup routine. Now I'll just go in and usually just do an eyeshadow and mascara and then maybe like a lip color. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see future videos, please hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.